is the outside, dives into the end zone.
Back inside, he needs one more block.
Scores a touchdown.
And he gets into the end zone.
Welcome in. It's the ESPN 97.7 Region Baseball Media Day here live from CEC TV. Andy Griffin, Andy Thompson. We welcome in the Dixie Flyers, conference champs in the house from last year. Coach Danny Ibsen, Logan Levitt, Braxton Yates, and Ridge Erickson there on the edge. How's it going, Coach? Thanks for joining us.
Great. Thanks for having us. We look forward to this year. Thanks for having us again this year, and thanks for your support.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit first about the offseason, Coach, like we always do with this young, talented team. What was the offseason like for you guys?
You know, we've had a pretty active offseason through summer, through fall, through winter. We've had some good opportunity to get out and play some baseball and hopefully improve a little bit. And I think the proof will be in the pudding this week when we get started. So hopefully we'll be able to start off a little bit, you know, on the hotter end and be a little more consistent offensively.
What was the focus for you guys in the offseason? I mean, there's got to be obviously the bitter taste of not winning it all last year, but you play so many games in the offseason. Does that get lost in the wash, or is it still pretty sharp in your minds?
Yeah, I think anytime you come across and you lose that last game of the season, I think that leaves a little bit of bad taste in your mouth. There's only one team that seems to be able to take that away and win that last game. So anytime you lose that last one, I think that should be some motivation for us to go forward this year and you know, certainly have some things to build upon with a good young squad that we've got.
What's the group look like, Coach? What were tryouts like, and then kind of the age of this team? Obviously, three juniors here with you today.
Yeah, we've got 3 juniors with us here today, and you know, our junior class is very strong. We've got a high number of juniors that will play for us, that are on our roster. So we're looking forward to being able to build upon what some of them were able to do as a sophomore class last year, and now as a junior class. We have quite a bit of varsity experience still returning, even though we're a young squad.
Do you see this team winning differently than last year's team? You guys had great pitching last year, obviously, a great leadoff hitter that set the table for you, and really good timely hitting. What do you anticipate might be a little bit different about this year's crew? You
know, I think our approach is going to be the same. I think that pitching and defense is the number one focus that we have all the time. Again, we look to be able to limit the numbers of runs that the other team scores, and hopefully we're able to generate enough consistent offense to be able to push more runs across than they do. But, you know, we're going to focus on our defense and pitching and build upon that. And then from an offensive standpoint, you know, we have a group of kids that I think that can execute a little bit better than what we've been able to do in the past. So hopefully that will be able to create some opportunities for us to, you know, get some guys in motion and do some other things throughout our offensive scheme.
It's been a pleasure watching your coach teams through the years, Danny. You always have preached fundamentals and even the little things, executing a bunt, hit and run, that kind of thing. But there's been a major shift in Major League Baseball. You know, it's now we don't care if we strike out. If we hit a home run every 5 at-bats, then we're good, and it doesn't matter anymore. Has that changed your philosophy at all?
You know, it really hasn't. What we try to talk to our kids about is battling and competing in every at-bat. Don't give any at-bats away. You know, in a high school season, we've got 25 games that we're limited to. You know, you're going to get 3 or 4 at-bats. I mean, it really starts to limit the scope in terms of what you can accomplish. Major League Baseball, they got 162 games and 700 or 800 at-bats that they can spread that across. High school level, we just don't have that luxury to be able to throw those at-bats away and try to compete and be a tough out every time we step in the box. That's what we're really trying to, you know, portray in terms of our kids, and I think for the most part that's what we're doing.
I'd assume one of the most difficult things going into any year, depending on the roster you have coming back, is determining who your 2 horses are as far as pitchers. You know, what's that been like this year, and is that the biggest challenge going into some years?
Yeah, I think so. I think no question about that. The luxury that we have, and I say luxury, you know, anybody can have a good day, anybody can have a bad day. So I think we have to be cognizant of that. But, you know, we have the luxury this year of having our returning, you know, number 2 starter step into that number 1 role, and then we have a handful of some of our young guys that are working towards that number 2 spot. And to be honest, we haven't solidified that just because we have some guys, some coming back from injury, some working themselves into the lineup and that sort of thing. And, you know, we'll look to do matchups as much as anything, I think, this year, depending upon who's got the hot hand and who possibly pitches well against other teams or whatnot. So I think it gives us a luxury of not having to be tied into maybe who that number 2 is. We can play matchups maybe throughout the game a little bit more than what we've been able to do in the past.
Some guys are hard to replace. What are some of the biggest holes you've had to fill in the offseason looking forward?
You know, I think that any time that you have a turnover with a squad, especially kids that had been with you for a while, being able to have people step into that leadership role and to be able to lead by example in terms of work ethic and everything else. And, you know, every year it seems like we have a good senior class that leaves with that work ethic. But, you know, our junior class right now is really pushing our guys right along to be able to lead. And it's exciting to see them with a bunch of field rats that we've got to be able to come and lead by example in terms of recognizing and understanding what we're trying to accomplish at the field and work hard each day to make that happen. We try to compete every day in practice, and hopefully that translates into success on the field.
Let's bring the players in, Coach. Why don't you go down the line and maybe introduce them and tell us a little bit about these guys?
You know, we've got Logan Levitt. Logan was integral for us last year in a DH and spot infield role for us last year, but it came up with some just huge hits for us, especially through the region season, so we're excited to have him back. We've got Braxton Yates, very versatile for us in terms of being able to the outfield, first base. We look to see him get a significant amount of time on the mound this year. And then, you know, we've got Ridge Erickson that started for us last year as a catcher behind the plate. And, you know, with one more year of experience, I think can continue to lead our ball club both offensively and defensively. So very excited to have these three with us here today and, you know, look forward to the season.
All right, Logan, let's start with you. I remember you popping, you know, getting a bunch of pub when you hit a walk-off. AJ, you did that game. You hit that walk. I can't remember even who it was against. It was at home. You won the game for the Flyers. Tell me a little bit about last season, like you said, being a DH, and this year and what you've, I don't know, been looking to improve in the offseason going into this season.
I've just been trying to improve my fielding mostly because I needed to work on that a little bit. But other than that, then I'm ready for this season. I'm ready.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm going to skip you for a second, Braxton, and go to the catcher here, Ridge. I love catchers. You guys are the nitty-gritty of baseball. You're down there in the dirt. You're just fighting for everything you can. You got a conversation with the umpire behind you, conversation with the batter in front of you. Tell me about playing catcher. Are you built to be a catcher? Is that what you always wanted to do?
No, when I first started playing baseball, I was a shortstop.
Really?
But my brother is a catcher, and he got me into it freshman year because we needed one for my class.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
Lauren, let's pull up a picture of media days past. Speaking of catchers, let's go to Danny Ibsen catching for the Flyers. Homered in that game, apparently.
Yeah, so, you know, that's a throwback right there. That's
Yeah.
the old blue and gold. You probably don't see the blue and gold in the black and white photo there. But
What year was that?
That would have been probably 88, 89 maybe.
Wow. Way to go. You went yard, too. That's
Well, you
impressive.
know, hey, every blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
So I was going to segue and ask you, Coach, about your relationship with your catchers and your history being, and why are catchers always the best managers? That's my question.
Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on who you ask who the best manager is. But, you know, I mean, I do fundamentally believe that the catcher is going to be the leader on our ball club. And, you know, we pushed Ridge right along last year as a sophomore to be able to take that role. And it's been integral and part of our success, and we've been pushing him right along this year as well. So, you know, he's got to drive our pitching staff, work with us in the dugout, and work with Coach Orlocker as we call the game and do those things. And traditionally, up to this point, we've been pretty much on the same page and look forward to being able to continue with that with Ridge behind the plate.
Has a catcher position changed since you played? Do you give him any kind of freedom as far as pitch calls and things like that?
Yeah, you know, being a catcher, I'm somebody, you know, and somebody with a little bit of that background, I relate to the fact that the catcher and the pitcher do have somewhat of a relationship and have an ability to kind of work that game themselves. You know, we're calling pitches, but they do have some freedom to be able to work together to be able to you know, they're going to know best when they're on the field, and maybe even know some of the kids that we're playing against better than we do. So, you know, we're going to listen to what they're going to say in between innings and even give them some freedom during the game.
The pitchers have the freedom to shake one off and Ridge tells them what to throw.
Yeah, hopefully we're not out there like Nuke LaLoosh kind of shaking out the whole game. But, you know, hey, they do have some freedom to be able to do that.
Let's go to Braxton. Braxton, we were talking before we went live here, Levitt, Yates, Erickson, those are some kind of famous region baseball names. Tell me about your growing up watching region baseball, and now you're one of the big names on the Flyers this year.
So me, Ridge, and Logan actually grew up with the Flyer family, always watching them, watched our brothers go through the program, and now to be a part of the program it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be coached by Danny Ipson, play with all of our buddies, and it's a good time.
What's it like, the Flyer field is kind of famous for how awesome it is and how well taken care of it is. What's it like for you now playing on the field, but also, taking care of it, that responsibility as a player, being a part of the program?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm a pitcher, so I get the mound job, and we take a lot of pride in our mound, and it's a lot of fun to maintain it and get it how you want it, So.
Absolutely.
Logan, let me ask you about wheels. Your brother, Jagan, known for his wheels, very fast. Are you as fast as Jagan?
Oh, no, not even close.
No?
Really.
But you got pretty good wheels?
I'm not that slow, but I'm not that fast.
You hit it far enough, you can trot, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's right.
You guys start against Springville. Coach, maybe tell us about this, the kind of a matchup that is very familiar foe.
Yeah, we look forward to it. Springville comes in. They've got two juniors in 2024 that are on the mound that project high in terms of ratings, in terms of this class. So we look forward to probably seeing one of those two, either one from the right or one from the left. We'll see where it goes, and so we look forward to that. We try to put together as tough of preseason schedule as we possibly can, seeing some of the better quality teams with, in a couple of weeks we've got Spanish Fork, Pleasant Grove, Palo Verde. So, hopefully we will have run through some tests and hopefully we'll pass it as we come along. I mean, we're just trying to push, like I said, pushes more runs across the plate than the other guys.
What does region look like to you? I mean, I know every year we ask the same question, and the answer is always it's always tough, and the parity and stuff like that. You guys almost went through unscathed last year in region play. What do you anticipate this year as far as some of these matchups, Coach?
Yeah, I think that the one thing about Region 10 specifically this year is that there's not a week off. There's when we play home and homes, there's not a situation where we can save or bypass pitching or anything else. We have to give our best every time that we go out, and that's really not just speak. That is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the work that we have to do and that we're up against on a weekly basis. So we look forward to it. It's good competitive baseball. It's fun. It's a good atmosphere, and it's really what hopefully we can have the energy to support what's going to be required for us at that point.
I wanted to ask any of you guys, maybe Braxton, is there a field, or any of you guys, that you like to play on besides Flyer Field? I know Flyer Field is the ultimate, right? But is there another field in the region or maybe in the state up at Kearns or something like that, that's a pretty nice place to play?
I liked playing at Jordan High School. I don't know why.
Okay.
They have a tall batter's eye. It's just a fun field
that
to
helps,
play on.
yeah. What about you other two guys?
I'd say Pine View. Pine View's always blowing out, so
Oh,
I like it.
hit it up in the air and hope the wind helps you out a little bit, huh?
Yeah, Snow Canyon has a pretty short field, so it's always good to hit one out of there.
Seems like there's a lot of triples at Snow Canyon, isn't there? Like it goes in the corner or something, gets lost in there.
Corners are deep.
Yeah.
All right, the Dixie Flyers, region champs last year, went to the semifinals as well in the playoffs. But it's time now. If we know these guys are great ball players, we're going to see how good of seed spitters they are. We're going to have our first annual Media Day seed spit off. The winner gets a Snickers bar. Go ahead, load up, guys. Now, these are pumpkin seeds for our viewing audience. So there's a little bit more, what do you say, AG?
A little
Heft?
more mass. Yeah, a little more mass, yeah.
And so you got to shoot it with finesse. Let's start with Ridge on the edge, closest to the dot there in the middle, gets the Snickers bar. Let's see what you got, Ridge.
Oh, it's a little short.
Warning
short.
Track power.
That's
Let's
close.
see,
Yeah,
Braxton.
Oh,
go?
Swung and a miss, and then he hit one a little deep.
Yeah.
Pretty close. Let's see what you got, Logan.
Can't spit and laugh at the same time.
Oh, boy. Okay,
That's a
what do you
pop-up
think,
right
AG?
there.
I think we're going to go.
out on the bounce. Maybe it's a little closer
What do
than
you
I
think,
thought.
Coach?
I think Braxton still got it though, right?
Is this the closest?
I think so.
Okay, where's Braxton Yates, our Snickers bar.
Braxton, he
Oh,
went
who's
yard.
here? Who's here?
That was Ridge.
Is this yours, Ridge?
Yeah.
Okay, Ridge.
Oh, Rich
Sorry.
wins it. All
Braxton,
right.
second place. All right, Coach, thanks so much. Dixie Flyers, everybody. Good luck this season. We'll see you out at the Diamond.
Thanks again for your support. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Good luck, Flyers.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more media today with the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs when we come back.
Hola, soy Isabela Gómez ayudando a Smokey Bear porque él tiene mucho más que decir que solo...
Solo tú puedes prevenir incendios forestales.
Si estás afuera disfrutando de una barbacoa después de una larga caminata, asegúrate de no tirar tus brasas o cenizas calientes al suelo, porque podría provocar un incendio forestal. Toma en serio la prevención de incendios forestales y salvemos el mundo un día a la vez. Juntos con Smokey Bear podemos hacerlo. Ve a smokeybear.com para obtener más información. Keep going.
It's not always necessary to know what lies ahead or around the next turn. The land of curiosity is calling. Rise to it.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
The Dutch. Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Experience active learning and career readiness at Utah Tech University. Formerly Dixie State University, Utah Tech has risen from the desert as one of the fastest growing, most affordable, safest, and rapidly evolving universities in the nation. Our Polytechnic mission creates hands-on learning opportunities for all of our 200-plus programs. So join us and experience the difference at Utah Tech University.
Maybe the rush of adrenaline has nothing to do with revolutions per minute, or the weightless gasp as you crest the hill. The land of adrenaline is called. Rise to it.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's all good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Experience active learning and career readiness at Utah Tech University. Formerly Dixie State University, Utah Tech has risen from the desert as one of the fastest growing, most affordable, safest, and rapidly evolving universities in the nation. Our Polytechnic mission creates hands-on learning opportunities for all of our 200-plus programs. So join us and experience the difference at Utah Tech University.
When the rush of life transforms into the rush of elation, the land of exhilaration is calling. Rise to it.
Welcome back, ESPN 97.7 Region 10 Baseball Media Day. Andy Griffin, Andy Thompson, now joined by the state champs, defending champs, Crimson Cliffs Mustang, Coach Abbott, and 5 senior Mustangs here with you, Coach. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Great, great. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Let's start with the off season. Obviously, bring the first baseball state title in school history of the young program's history. Coach, talk to us about the off season after the title game.
Well, yeah, we got moving right after that. You know, it was kind of like we enjoyed the moment, you know, all together as a team, as a family, and had a really good time reminiscing, had a really good end of the year kind of get together, had a nice video we showed us, and then these guys got ready for summer. And we had a lot of guys step up and get some opportunities during the summer and got better. And so when we got back to school in the fall, we were ramping it up and, you know, played 50 games over the fall at all levels. So we got a lot of baseball in. So,
did you find out you had some holes you needed to fill, and what were those holes? What did you have to focus on as far as a coach?
You know, we lost 4 seniors. You know, so 3 out of those 4 guys were college type players. You know, I think between all 3 of those, Logan, Canyon, Jays, we lost 7 home runs, and so that's kind of that's a big number, especially in high school.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, we had some guys step up over the summer and get better, and so we feel like we can fill those roles with some younger guys to step up and accept the challenge. So, and then, you know, Zach was our other senior. He's on a mission. So, yeah.
How much, you mentioned all the games you played. You know, it seems like not optional anymore if you're going to be a state championship caliber team, right, you've got to play that many. It's a year-round, sport basically.
Yeah, I don't know, just being able to get the opportunities to play and get the reps.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so much of those things that you can establish as a really good player when you're playing in a live game. The practices and the batting practice and all that stuff, you know, that stuff it matters and it's big. But when you get the opportunities to play in games, and whether it was inter-squad with these guys or, you know, some of these guys went to Vegas, some of these guys went to California and Arizona over the summer, you can't replace the game reps.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the biggest thing. And now more so than anything, you know, baseball's a year-round sport, especially we have that opportunity to do that down here. Mm-hmm. That if there's opportunities to play on the weekend, you know, our guys are going to look to take advantage of it.
I asked Coach Ibsen about this. I'll ask you, Coach Abbott. Baseball has changed a little bit at the professional level. Guys are striking out more, but if they hit a home run every once in a while, it's okay. Does that change your way of coaching things, or are you still, all right, let's stick to the fundamentals?
Yeah, I think in high school, you know, obviously when you get to that professional level or you get to that college level, the defense just jumps up a bunch.
Yeah.
You know, you get those types of players. So I think the strikeout in college and the strikeout in professional baseball is not as important. But in high school, I think when you put a ball in play and you can create a little bit of chaos, I think that's when things change a little bit. So just trying to focus on putting balls in play.
Put pressure on the defense. I
Yeah,
guess.
sure. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. I mean, put a ball in play, that guy's got to field it, he's got to throw it, and that guy's got to catch it. So
yeah. You had one of the most dominating, at least since I've been around, state championship pitching performances last year with Bo Sampson. Tell us a little bit about the pitching rotation in general and kind of the depth coming back for you guys this year.
Yeah, so, I mean, we got all of our pitching back. You know, Jays last year threw a few innings for us, but, you know, we've got everybody coming back, and everybody for the moment is healthy. Fox is coming back. Fox right next to me. Fox went 3-0 last year with a .67 ERA. You know, had some really good outings. So you throw Fox in the mix. Jager may get an inning or so in early preseason. So, I mean, you know, you throw Fox in the mix with some of those other guys like Aaron and Javen and Bo, and, you know, those guys are capable, you know, then they're gamers. So
does the mustache help Jager's intimidation factor on the mound, or does it hurt it in your opinion, Coach?
No, the mustache, take the mustache out of the equation, and Jager is just scary all around. So
awesome. Well, why don't you introduce, Coach, the 5 that you brought, and just tell us a little bit about them, and then we'll start talking to the guys here.
So Fox Chalice to my left right here. Fox is a senior, like I said, he's a pitcher. Brecken Smith right behind him. Brecken's a senior infielder. And then right next to Fox is Ty Maynard, catcher, second base. He played second base for us last year in the state championship. And next to him is Jager Baldwin, outfielder, committed to go play at Salt Lake Community College.
Awesome.
Made some big time catches last year.
Yeah.
Top of the lineup guy. And then Tate Maynard, our starting third baseman, and hits the middle of the order. So, yeah,
Awesome.
Those are our guys.
Speaking of great catches, I remember Jager's catch was it at Desert Hills in right field? You made the catch of the year, right? Tell me about that play before we talk about this year. Do you remember making that catch against E. Hills? The mic's right in front of you there, yeah.
I remember like it was yesterday. So like it was super windy that day, and so the kid hit it, and I was just like all over the place. I was turning around trying to find it, trying to play the win. And then I finally got on track, got on the right route, and then I hear Logan from center field yell fence. So I was like, oh, I got to jump, and I just jumped up and grabbed it.
Yeah, that was a remarkable play. Wow. All right, sorry to go back, but tell me about Jager, your excitement for this year and kind of what you've been working on and some of the things Coach was talking about.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited for this year. I feel like this is the year that I want to show a lot of things, and I've just been working on my hitting a lot lately, and just getting that right swing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I assume you Maynard boys are brothers?
Yes, sir.
How far apart are you?
2 minutes.
2 minutes apart?
Yes, sir.
Who's older?
I am by 2 minutes. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Do you hold that over him? Is that kind of a thing?
Not really.
All right. Tell us about your baseball blood. I mean, did you grow up, was this always a dream to play varsity, maybe college baseball?
Oh, yeah, it's always been cool having a brother just to go out there and hit with you and have a competition against each other. But, yeah, it's always been a dream to play varsity baseball, and I'm loving it.
Did your dad play?
My dad did play in high school. He didn't play college, but he did play in high school.
Nice.
He's taught me a lot.
Nice. You going to share the mic with your brother?
Yes, sir.
All right, same questions. I mean, growing up with baseball, was that always a thing for you?
Yeah, we've always played, like, since we were young, probably like 4 or 5. Then we just grown up playing. Then the last 4 years, all of us kind of played together, and since we were a new school, we all pretty much played varsity most of our, like, high school career.
Okay, brothers, who's faster and who has a better arm? And who can hit better?
I'm faster and have a better arm. Yeah.
And he has the mic, so yeah.
Yeah, and I got the mic.
Yeah.
Let's go to Brecken back here. You guys are all seniors this year. You won the state title last year. Obviously that's the goal of everybody, but in your guys' career, did that happen before you thought it would? Like, obviously you went into last year thinking you had a chance, but already you guys are state champs going into your senior year.
Yeah, I think that we came in last year knowing that we were a good team, and I mean we proved it that we could be up there with them and end up winning it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't. I would say that we knew that we had a good chance going into last year and have a really good chance going into this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Fox, talk about trying to break in on the mound when you've got a couple of really great pitchers already ahead of you, and how you're going to find innings this year.
Yeah, there's like lots of competition, so you just gonna work really hard and hopefully get some innings in this year.
Do you know your role as coach to find how you're going to fit into all this?
Starting on Friday against Tooele.
Okay,
yeah,
that's a pretty good role.
Yeah.
I told you that this morning.
Yeah.
Started, yeah.
So you guys actually play Thursday, though, so you have a game Thursday and then Friday as well, right?
Yeah, 1 game Thursday, 2 games Friday, 1 game Saturday.
Wow.
So
I always wondered about this, Coach. Maybe you can address this. You get like 2 main guys, right? Maybe 3 or 4 that get in the rotation during the regular season. And then the state playoffs come, and you got to have like 5, 6, 7 guys ready to go.
Yeah.
How do you balance that as a coach?
I think the preseason's huge for some of those younger. I mean, what we're not trying to do is we're not trying to run somebody out there for 5 or 6 innings in a preseason game. You know, we're trying to get in some good work and give some of these other guys opportunities. And one thing that we'll try to focus on during the season is trying to get some live ABs in the middle of the week. Because when we do get into region, we have those 2 games,
right?
And we've got a deep pitching staff. These guys have to get in that work, and bullpens are good, but like I said earlier, you can't replicate the game situations, And I think for Fox, and I think for all these other guys that are pitching, to be able to throw in an inter squad against the guys that we have in our lineup, I think it makes us better. So we'll try to focus on that. So we have these guys in the playoffs. So.
Well, I was just going to ask you that same question. Something that drives me nuts about the tournament. You guys didn't have to deal with it last year because you didn't lose.
Yeah.
But when you're in that win back and you got a freshman pitching who hasn't pitched all year, but it sounds like that's probably like you said in the preseason, a chance to work out that depth in pitching. So when that time comes, if it does, you can count on a 4th, 5th guy if you need to.
Yep. Yeah. We just have to play it smart.
Yeah. Let's pull up Coach Abbott. This is from media days past, folks. Northridge 6, Clearfield 2. Justin Abbott strikes out 12, hits a dinger in the game as well, Coach. What do you remember about, do you have any memory of that game against against Clearfield or whoever it was?
Yeah, it was at Lindquist Field. I do remember that. It was a high fastball off of Cody Hamlin. His name's down there at the bottom if he's watching this. Cody and I were friends in high school. It was good competition. Looks like Tyson Povey's on there. He was my catcher, played a couple years with the Dodgers. So yeah, we had a pretty good team. That was fun.
It's amazing how a baseball player, you can bring up, you just saw that 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But you could remember a high fastball that you hit, right?
Yeah. Well, I only hit 2 home runs in my high school career, so I remember that one.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you, Coach, about just kind of region in general this year. I asked Coach Ibsen the same thing, always competitive. What about this season or the dynamic of the guys coming back are you most looking forward to and the challenge for your guys this season?
We got these seniors, I was having these conversations with these guys last week. These guys have been here since day one, and, their freshman year was that COVID year and got shut down, and we didn't have a year. So these guys have been excelling and doing things on the baseball field and in the classroom since they were sophomores. They didn't really have a freshman year to do that. And so the region's tough. It's always on a Tuesday and a Friday night. We got to put the gas on the pedal. I don't think there's any let up. I don't think there's any time for us to sit back. We got to get after it because it's a tough region. And then even that region up north in Cache Valley, there's some good teams up there. So it definitely, playing the guys and the teams and playing against the coaching staff that this region has definitely prepares us for state. So yeah, it's a tough region.
One advantage you have over Cache Valley, there's like 12 inches or 18 inches of snow up there right now.
Yeah.
So at least they're probably playing in a gymnasium somewhere.
Yep. I know that they had to have tryouts in their gyms. So
I'm going to ask Jager real quick. You've got some pop in your bat. Is there some pressure to try to keep up with some of the studs like Trey Evans and those guys and hit like they do?
Not really. I want to hit hard line drives to the gaps, and home runs will come. I mean, I just swing the bat as hard as I can and try and hit line drives.
Nice.
Good answer. All right, that's the state champ, defending state champ, Crimson Cliffs Mustangs. Time now to see if they can do better than the Flyers did on our Media Day seed spit off. And Coach, I didn't give Coach Ibsen the opportunity. I wasn't thinking. If you want to contribute, or if you want to spit a seed, you got a chance to win a Snickers as well.
No, I'm good.
Wouldn't he be a lot better than them because he's been doing it longer?
Yeah, probably would.
You're right.
I'll
it's
let
unfair.
These guys,
let these little whippersnappers try it. All right, grab a seed.
He's been spitting seed for 20 years, so.
You're shooting for the black dot in the middle. Closest to gets the Snickers. Let's see what you got, Jager.
Oh, man, you got some juice.
Been in the weight room this offseason. Who we got next?
Me.
All right, let's do it. Ty.
Ooh. Oh, he's on the mat. That's our first mat shot today. So.
All right, Tate. Outdo your twin here. Oh,
almost.
I think he got you by a little.
Oh, jeez. Shot a few things out there.
Oh, I won.
Ty Maynard.
Okay, we got Ty Maynard. Congratulations, buddy. Here's your Snickers.
Team
Coach,
size.
thanks so much for bringing these guys, and good luck. We'll see you out on the diamond. We'll be back with the Pineview Panthers, right?
I guess.
All right, Pineview, I think, is next. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks
Congrats,
for having
guys.
us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Experience active learning and career readiness at Utah Tech University. Formerly Dixie State University, Utah Tech has risen from the desert as one of the fastest growing, most affordable, safest, and rapidly evolving universities in the nation. Our Polytechnic mission creates hands-on learning opportunities for all of our 200-plus programs. So join us and experience the difference at Utah Tech University.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR. It's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Experience active learning and career readiness at Utah Tech University. Formerly Dixie State University, Utah Tech has risen from the desert as one of the fastest growing, most affordable, safest, and rapidly evolving universities in the nation. Our Polytechnic mission creates hands-on learning opportunities for all of our 200-plus programs. So join us and experience the difference at Utah Tech University.
When the rush of life transforms into the rush of elation, the land of exhilaration is calling. Rise to it.
Welcome back, ESPN 97.7 Region 10 Baseball Media Day. Thanks for being with us. Andy Griffin, to my right. I'm Andy Thompson. We welcome in the Pineview Panthers, Coach Glenn McClellan and the Panthers. How's it going, Coach?
Good, going good.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
I would say I love your pinstripe uniforms. You guys look sharp. Let's start, Coach, with talking a little bit about last year's team. You guys were awesome last year, had a great team, had a great team chemistry and personality and just grit and toughness. And I'm curious, just right off the bat, how much of that, the residue of that team is still with these guys who, played with those guys last year?
Yeah, coming off last year, we'd have a great team. They really did have a lot of grit, those great camaraderie, really worked hard.
Yeah.
Great leadership, and I think they passed it right on to these guys because we have exactly the same thing. I think, honestly, we have probably the tightest knit group of boys that we've ever had, and these guys are willing to fight, scrape, kick, whatever they got to do to win. So I expect big things out of them. I expect some good things coming out of the season, and and they'll tell you it comes from the last year. Those kids just really set a good example and show them what it was about.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about the off season, just kind of in general, Coach, summer, and all that stuff that you guys do to prepare.
Well, summer we tried to scratch in as many games as we could, get the boys coming back out, get them going too. We have some kids obviously play other sports, but the kids that we did have, a lot of games, a lot of at bats, get them a lot of playing time, get them into that mode. We had kind of a core of some juniors and sophomores that came with the program last year, and so we're trying to build around that and see what we got and work that through the summer. Come into the winter time, we've had most everybody there every day. Want to get something out of this, want to come back and prove something, and so we've just been kind of building on what we have and adding to it. And these guys have taken exactly what the boys did last year and are spreading it down to our younger kids. So
there were a couple of moments last year. First of all, the win against Snow Canyon to start region play. And then the other one I thought was that when you were able to get Crimson. I think I did that game. It was at your place, but you guys, those seem to be big moments where people would say, "Okay, maybe this Pineview team is the real deal." Talk a little bit about that and the maturation of the team last year, because you really played well after that.
The boys have it all in them all the time. It's just when it's going to show up, and obviously when you got good competition like that, that little bit extra comes out. Definitely, there were some personal things for each of the kids for both games with Snow Canyon and with Crimson, but they just stepped it up. They knew what they had to do. They did what they they came to do, and they played their best. They didn't turn out the way we did by the end of the year, but even at that last state game against Crimson, it was a fantastic game. Had that been hit 2 feet higher, would have been a different program, different game. Who knows what happened? But I think they did everything that was asked of them. They came and played. They showed a lot of grit. I think you're going to see a lot of that this year. You're going to see a lot of surprises that people are like, wait a sec, what's going on here? So we try to do a little bit different, but these guys will do exactly what they did last year.
And I was mistaken. You lost at home to Crimson, but then you turned around and beat them. And I think that started you on like a 7-game winning streak or something after that.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we just kept rolling with it. I mean, you get you fired up, get you going.
Yeah.
Obviously, Crimson is a great team, great program, run by a great coach. So, a lot of the teams we face are great programs. And I think we have a great program as well. And we try and do things just a little bit different and get as much as we can out of the boys. And I think you'll see that again this year.
Obviously, the 4 guys you have here were big contributors last year. But with the guys you left and stuff like that, what are the holes, I guess, that you're trying to kind of figure out going into this season, production-wise, or pitching, or in those areas?
Definitely pitching. Pitching. We've got Nash, who will probably be our number 1, and then we're trying to see. We got about 5-6 seniors that are mainly our pitching. We're going to see who wants to step up and be 1, 2, 3. After that, fill in where we got. I think we hit well. Not too worried there. We want to pick up a little bit here. I mean, every one of these guys here are great hitters. You're going to see the ball spread around. We're going to put the ball in play. In the field, we're pretty solid. I mean, we've got some new people coming in to definitely fill a couple spots. Obviously, we've got third base. We've got Nash will take care of short, but when Nash is pitching, we got to make some moves, and so we got some spots there. We got Kais behind the dish if we need him at short, and we got to fill that spot in. So we got some moving around to do, and it's all going to be circumstantial. But I think we've got the 9, 10, 11 guys that we can do it with, and I think they feel comfortable with. And so it's just where it's going to play.
You had the double last year with the 2 sets of twins. Obviously, those are guys that, at least from our perspective, they were tough as nails. What did they teach your team? And now that they're gone, how are you going to replace them?
I think they could tell you more than I could, but I would say they taught them grit, hard work, dedication, because those boys would come all the time. The 2 twins were definitely 2 separate types of twins.
Yeah.
But I think they taught them.
By the way, Becker and Roundy, for those that
yeah, the Roundy boys are awfully sit there to complement each other and help each other be better and work. You got the Becker twins who will go at each other a little bit to get motivation from each other, and so definitely different things. But I think the aspect of their grit and their want to win was what they passed on to these guys and show them how to do that. I mean, those guys were constantly in the cage, constantly on the field, taking ground balls, working on something. So, and that's what these guys saw, and that's what they do.
Awesome. Let's have you, Coach, maybe go down the line and introduce the guys and maybe just tell us a little bit about them going into this season, then we'll talk to the players.
Okay, well, you got right here, you got Nash Schroeder, just come off obviously a great basketball season, great athlete. Will come in and fill in at shortstop, possibly some third, depending on where we're at. Definitely be doing pitching for us. He's a junior, does a great job, love having him, brings a great attitude, and a lot of kids get right behind him wherever he's playing. We got Andrew Shakespeare right here. He swings it well, he plays in our outfield. He can play first base. Definitely will fill both the positions there for us, right and left field. And so, he comes in and, I mean, he's just constantly off-season swinging. So all the kids look to him. You got Kyson, who's our ultimate util guy. I can put him behind the dish. I can put him on the mound. I can put him at short, third, second, outfield. Like, Coach, where do you need me? Type of player. Always has a great attitude. Always willing to come in and work hard and gives his best. Expects nothing but the best from himself. So he's a junior also. And then you got Preston Christensen, of course, who will be mainly in our center field, tracking down balls for us and coming in, swinging the bat hard and hitting the ball hard. And he's a senior and going out this year, and so he steps up as a leader and helps these young kids, and these young kids help him. And I really don't have a lot of people stepping on each other's feet. So these guys are going to come in and serve us well and do a great job for us this year.
Let's start with you, Nash. I guess tell us about your excitement of being the guy, potentially, number one starter, pitching a lot this year, as well as, your duties as one of the best hitters and defensive players on this year's team.
Well.
Give him a mic.
Oh, sorry, yeah. There you go.
Well, I just love baseball, so honestly, and then this is a very tight group of boys, and we hang out a lot, we compete, we get after it, and I'm really excited to kind of try to be the leader on the team and do whatever it takes to win. So,
Playing basketball, has it been hard to think about baseball, knowing that you're focusing on basketball? All region, by the way, congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, but it is hard being a two-sport athlete sometimes, but there's always time for both at the same time. I'd go in during lunches and throw with our pitching coach JP to get my arm in shape for season, so I'm ready to go by preseason games.
Andrew, we were talking about the leadership on last year's team, the twins, and the guys that were in the program. You and Nash and Kyson, I guess, were just sophomores, but were still kind of leaders in a way because of the production. But now those guys are gone. There's a big vacuum for guys like you four to step up, right, leadership-wise.
I mean, stepping up's not going to be that hard. Kind of just went over. I mean, we got a good group of boys. We're going to play good, and I mean, we're going to miss the Beckers and the Roundies. I mean, it's nice to have Ian and Dylan there to get mad at you when you're not locked in, It's what I'm going to miss, but we'll fill it in. We'll be ready.
You were one of the best hitters in the whole region as a sophomore. Tell me about your just basic approach at the plate and maybe what you hopefully have improved on, I guess, from last year to this year.
I mean, I'm just going to look for those fastballs right down the middle and just not let those go to waste and just hit still, I guess. I mean, look for a good pitch and hit it hard. That's all it is.
At your level, are you told to lay off the curve balls for the most part and just look for the fastball?
If there's a good curveball to hit,
okay.
I'm going to hit it far.
Yeah, if they hang it. Yeah. Kyson, will you talk a little bit about your role on the team? And I know you pitched a little last year. Tell us about what you expect this year.
I kind of feel like I can play anywhere, wherever the coach needs me. I don't really have a set position, but it is what it is. But
whatever it takes to get on the field, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Now, talk about Preston. Talk about the center field. Now, I assume because you're playing center field, and coach said you're going to be tracking down balls, that you must be pretty fast. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm pretty quick. Yeah, try to steal some bases this season too. But yeah, I enjoy the outfield.
Any thoughts of doing track and baseball at the same time?
I thought about it last year, but I just like to focus on baseball.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. Yeah. You like playing center field?
Yeah.
Are you? They always the tradition is that center fielder is the captain of the outfield, and you can call off anybody else. Is that the way it still goes?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what Coach Kyler Walker.
You ever call anybody off and then not gotten it? Like, oh man, I blew that one.
Not this season. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the hardest outfield to patrol in region? Is there one kind of outfield that's bigger or whatever, a weird little something about it that you don't like, or are they basically about all the same?
Hurricanes Field, they got a deep center field, 400 feet, but they're all pretty similar. Yeah. So.
And then tell us about your approach at the plate, and you're looking forward to hitting this year a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just gonna look first pitch strike. If it's there, hammer it. I'm trying to hit line drives, find some gaps, but yeah, hit it hard.
Awesome.
One of the other players was saying they like playing at Pineview because the wind seems to always be blowing out. Is it a temptation for you guys when you go to the plate to think, I'm going to hit one out this time?
Yeah, batting practice. trying to hit some tanks, but I'll let these guys talk about it.
Okay, yeah. Kyson?
Oh, yeah. Always be cool to hit a home run, but in the game, I'm just trying to hit a line drive, not trying to get a long ball, but I don't know. I don't know about Shakes or Nash. But
blowing in for lefties.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Blowing in for lefties, so I guess opposite. Try to hit the ball the other way instead.
Yeah. Go the other way with it. That's a real home run, right? Even with the wind.
If you can do it oppo, you can do it anywhere. I mean.
How about you, Nash? You tempted to just swing away as hard as you can, deep?
Yeah, I have two different approaches in practice. One's get out and practice, and the other one in games, kind of just get on base, kind of find a gap.
Can you compare? This is fun. I mean, you're the point guard in basketball. Can you compare the two sports, a mindset it takes to star in a different sport at a different time of year?
I just think trying to be a good leader on and off the field or court. But I think that's probably the biggest thing for me.
Okay. Andy?
Yeah, Coach, I was going to ask you what type of, leaders you have this year. It's we've talked a lot about leadership with the outgoing crew, and then are these guys more soft-spoken, more lead by example types, more vocal? Like, how do you classify some of these returning stars from last season?
I'd say that you got both. Nash just tends to be a little more quiet. Kais is a little more vocal. Shake's a little more vocal, and I think Preston, he's a little bit more quiet, but they kind of almost command that respect from the younger kids, and they don't have to say a lot. They can just look at you kind of like a parent. You're not doing something you need to be doing and get it done. And there's sometimes they're like, hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Pull it out, figure it out.
How do you see, we've asked all the coaches this, but how do you see the offense generating runs this year? Any different than last year as far as the long ball or manufacturing stuff? Or
I think these kids are going to hit the ball hard. I think they're going to be on. I think we're going to make runs. I think obviously if we get into a situation where we have to manufacture a run, they're all capable of doing it. But I think these guys can hit the ball hard enough that we're not going to worry too much about that. It'll all be situational, but they're working really hard right now. We're really on them about what the approach is. Like they say, they want to hit the long ball, and I'm on them about let's line drive, let's hit the ball, put the ball in play, let's just get it in play. Because if we try to overdo it, overswing, we tend to pop up or not with the result we want. So they're getting more and more disciplined. They know what they need to do, and they're working as a team. If they know they got a guy on third and it's one out, they're going to put the ball in play and score. They don't care about. We're not worried about their averages or what's going on. They're about being a team and making it happen.
I thought you guys did a good job last year too of putting pressure on the defense, putting it in play, making those guys, like Coach Abbott said a little while ago, one guy's got to field it, he's got to throw it across the diamond accurately, the other guy's got to catch it. That puts a lot of pressure at this level if you can just get it in play.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of adrenaline going for kids, and all of a sudden something comes, and pressure situations. We're going to put the ball in play. We're going to make them do something with it. Hopefully we can find the holes, find the gaps, but at least we want to make them do something with it. So,
Coach McClellan and the Pineview Panthers, one of the top teams from region last year, back with a bunch of returning talent. Thanks so much, Coach, for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Time now for the Seed Spitting Derby.
Let's do it.
Now, what candy bar do we want? We got Baby Ruth, we got Snickers, and Twix. Twix? Twix, all right.
Twix,
all right.
It's a king size.
Grab a seed. You're shooting for the dot in the middle. We know Andrew Shakespeare won our seed spitting thing on the rush last year with distance. Does he have accuracy? What do you got, Andrew?
Oh, I don't got the accuracy.
All right. Little bound, little foul ball.
Wide right, yeah.
There you go, Nash. Not horrible. Kyson, is he on the mat?
Oh, that's
almost
pretty good.
On the red.
That's pretty good.
And Preston. Oh! Okay, we're going. Who hit the closest one?
Looks like Kais.
Kyson, congratulations. You got the Twix. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Awesome.
See you guys on the diamond.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
What if the end of the trail is just the beginning? The land of discovery is calling. Rise to it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
The road to success is not the path you find, but the trail you blaze. Beginning at St. George State Academy, then Dixie State University, and finally, Utah Tech University, this historic institution has risen from the desert as one of the fastest growing, most affordable, safest, and rapidly evolving universities in the nation. Our Polytechnic mission creates hands-on learning opportunities from day one in all of our 200 programs. Through internships, experiential learning, and industry partnerships, I will graduate career ready. Although this journey was not always easy, I know that education is the single most powerful tool to change the world. Disappointments are inevitable and change is inescapable, but difficulties mastered are opportunities won. In Trailblazer Nation, you will not only discover who you are meant to become, but have the greatest time of your life. Go Utah Tech!
If you don't find it in your game, you'll definitely find it in your surroundings. The land of distinction is calling. Rise to it.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Welcome back. ESPN 97.7 Region 10 Media Day. Andy Griffin.
Hi.
Andy Thompson. And the Snow Canyon Warriors coach Seacrest, Sam Lindsay, Coden Herman, and Braden Loveland. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for being with us.
Let me look at you, or are we looking here?
You can look at wherever you want.
All
There's
right.
a million cameras in here. Usually you just get lost in Andy Griffin's eyes, so that's where most people
It's easy to
look.
do.
Tell us about the offseason, Coach. Another awesome season last year. Tell us about, the new group and what you're most looking forward to this season.
Yeah, solid year. Off season was great. Did a lot of traveling, mainly with our younger guys. These guys just hit the gym and got bigger. I know Braden played a little bit. Sam was doing some other things, and so was Coden. But yeah, the off season was good, and then the fall was great. Everybody was back in the fall, and we had a good fall. Played all over the place. Vegas did some of those games down there, and but mostly right around here, and everybody did well. So looking forward to getting this thing going. It's been a long time waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. You brought up the gym. I'm curious, we always talk about it with the football media today, but how much over your tenure coaching has just guys pumping up, lifting, factored in more probably now than back 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. A lot of not so much at the high school level. I mean, obviously in pro baseball and college baseball there's weightlifting, but it's really kind of taken over.
Yeah.
And I think these guys all know the importance of having that edge on other teams. So getting the weight room is important now with baseball. I don't think it was so much when I first started coaching. It was more just let's play the game.
Yeah.
We still focus a lot on the fundamentals and things like that, but it's important to get in the gym and get to work there as well.
Talk about a little bit last year, how things ended for you guys. Obviously it wasn't the way you wanted it to end, but you guys made a pretty good run in the state tournament. Talk about that. Yeah, definitely. Got to play some younger guys, and these guys had some experience there. Sam, obviously, the last couple of years has been with us there. Coden got an inning, and Braden ran bases for us, so they've all had that experience and to be able to play kind of through that loser's bracket. We were able to come back through on that one side and get Crimson, and tough loss, no doubt about it, and these guys want to make good of that, and but yeah, so good run, but also got to play a lot of younger players, so that was I think important for coming into this year. Not so much last year, but for this year for sure. I would love to have had some of those guys from last year been full strength at the end of the season, but we were able to have a lot of sophomores on the mound during those state tournament time and get that feel of what that's like, because it's definitely a different level than just playing JV baseball.
Yeah, the question going into every season is the guys you lost versus the guys you have coming back. And you guys had some stud, obviously seniors last year who were studs for 3 or 4 years, some of them it seemed like, in the program. Maybe talk a little bit about that transition from that kind of core to these guys.
Yeah, so definitely it's something that we've looked at all offseason, like we said here earlier. So I was proud of what we've done in the offseason with those guys. And I think a lot of them will step up and be good. And to have them play in the state tournament and the state championship last year, I think just made us even better for this coming season. So that was good. But obviously, every year those spots are hard to replace. I mean, you go in and you're like, man, how are we going to replace this guy that's now BYU or this guy, or, and Luke and Isaac last year and Jake Johnson, who's playing college baseball too, had 3 guys doing that. And then you go to like Drake Kelly and Logan Mendenhall from last year, and how are you going to replace them? But I think we've had a lot of younger guys step up. We've changed some positions with some guys, and I think that's going to help us out also. And but these 3 guys are definitely going to be an important part of this, and they're going to lead us well. There's no doubt about it.
You want to go ahead and introduce us to your players, Coach? Tell us about them and what their roles are going to play this year. I know the first guy right next to you, we know him pretty well already.
Yeah, so Sam Lindsay's right next to me. He's been a great force for us the last 2 years as a sophomore. Really helped us win that state championship when our bats kind of went south in the state tournament, but our pitching was solid. He stepped up with some big hits. He's gotten big hits his whole career. I mean, he had a huge one last year against Crimson in the state tournament, bring us within 1, bases loaded, 2 outs or 1 out. And so, I mean, we're counting on him to do the same thing. I think he's ready to do that. I don't think he's going to feel the pressure. He's just going to stand up and do his thing. And actually, he's one of the guys that's moved positions. We put him in center field. So he'll be able to control the outfield, run down some balls, and then hopefully smash some stuff when he's at the plate. So
had six dingers last year. So
yeah, it's definitely good, and we're glad that he's back because he really kind of solidifies the middle of our order. So good for that. Coden Herman, going to play some right field, going to swing a little bit, but mostly going to be on the mound pitching it. He's worked his butt off this winter. That's kind of what we talked, or this last summer. Getting his arm better and stronger and in shape, and he'll start the first game Friday night against Spanish Fork, and I expect him to lead us on the mound. There's no doubt about that. And then he got some innings last year a little bit, and then Braden Loveland is on the end and got some speed, can run the outfield. He's going to be in right field, and he's going to do some good things for us out there. He can run down a lot of balls and plays great defense, and gets on base and makes things happen with his speed, and he'll probably be hitting in the 9 hole, but get us back to the top of the order to where Sam can drive everyone in.
Let's talk to Sam. Sam, if you want to pick up a mic there. What was last year like for you? Just seeing the ball good all year, it seemed like, driving it. Just tell us about how things went for you last season.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about how last season went. Yeah, I feel like I saw the ball pretty well. I was obviously upset about how the year ended because nobody wants to lose in the state championship, and I really felt like we were the better team, but they played better than us that day, and life goes on, so all we can do is reload. But yeah, I was really confident, and I think confidence was a big part because I played a lot my sophomore year, so I got to see a lot of varsity pitching, and I think that was probably a big factor just because I had a lot more confidence, just because I felt like I'd seen more pitching. But yeah.
You know, we talk a lot about the leaders and senior leadership or whatever, but how much of just like the winning culture at Snow Canyon and that program, like when you're looking at a sophomore who might be getting time, you trust that he's ready because he's, you know, he plays in the program and he's been prepared for that moment, I guess, is my question. Just the program tradition kind of just making people ready to go for the Warriors.
Yeah, no, definitely. Every time I tell somebody that I play for Snow Canyon, I'm proud of it, for sure.
Yeah.
And we obviously have a good record, and Coach Seacrest himself has a great record. And I think that's a big part of it, just because he creates the culture and he sets the intensity in every practice. And I mean, even during tryouts, he was pretty fired up, and I think that let everyone know that what we're getting into. So, yeah.
What do you think about your new role playing center field? Is that something you feel like you're ready for?
Yeah, no, I asked him. I was the one that asked him to play center field. I think he said the other day it's the best position on the field, and I totally
Luke's
agree.
hard to replace, though, right?
Yeah, but
I mean,
you know what? Luke was his own player, and I'm my own player as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to really replace him. I'm just going to do the job whenever it comes.
Love it.
Good answer.
Great answer. All right, let's go to Coden down there. Coden, tell us about your excitement for the year. You contributed a little bit last year, and obviously much more opportunity this season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to start against Spanish Fork. It's going to be good. Just go in, throw strikes. It's another baseball game. Can't let it get to your head. You just got to go in, dominate, throw strikes. No walks, no free passes.
Love it. I was just talking about Snow Canyon's tradition, but I was going through the other day looking at, since the year 2000 to now, how many state champions has Region 9 and 10 produced? And it's like 80% of the state champions come from this region down here. So maybe talk about just playing in this kind of mecca of high school baseball down here in this bubble.
I mean, yeah, in Region 10, it's just like everyone's your friend. You know everyone on every team, so you just got to go in the game. Just like you got to focus no matter what, no matter if you hang out with them the next day. So it's the toughest part about Region 10 is everyone's your friend.
Yeah, love it.
Seems like the region, every team seems to be better.
Yeah.
And so the pressure's on for you guys to be better too. You heard Coach talk about your role and where you're going to fit into things, and then Coach takes you up and drops you right in the fire against Spanish Fork, first game out. Talk about that a little bit and your feelings about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident in my team and my defense around me. I mean, they're going to make plays, and I'm going to make good pitches and hopefully do good.
All right, let's go down to Braden down there. Tell us about your excitement, your role, how you see it this year, and Coach was saying about your spot in the lineup a little bit, but give us your perspective, Braden.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, obviously we had a tough loss last year in the state championship, so I think we come back with a whole new fire this year, whole new different level of intensity. I think it's going to be different.
And elaborate a little bit on the intensity. Tell me about that Snow Canyon practice or whatever, just the the intensity of the practices or whatever.
I mean, I feel like everybody's there to get something done, to work on something. I feel like that's what makes it better than most, is we're all there to get better no matter what.
Let's go back to Coach. How do you see the region this year, Coach? I mean, it's always good, but what about it this year? I don't know, maybe a little bit different.
Yeah, I feel like a broken record just saying it's the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
It prepares you for the state tournament right off the bat. It's playoff games right from the get-go. The people that come out to the games love the atmosphere, that just the fans of Region 10 baseball, and the kids love playing in front of those. We get more people at these games than most colleges get at their games.
True.
And so it's just great all the way around. And I see the region being tough, and you can't just sit back and hope we're going to just walk out here and win a game, because I think all 7 teams. I always leave one out for some reason. I don't know. I've been around. I always think there's 6, but 7. All 7 teams can beat you on any given day, and that's baseball. But in this region, it really can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like always the best team wins. You can get beat by somebody that may not be so good. So it's just a great atmosphere and tough to get through. There's no doubt about it. We just want to make sure that we're always prepared. Winning region championships are great, and we focus on that a little bit, but it's always not the best thing to do. I mean, it's to be prepared when the state tournament arrives.
And be on a roll and really have
it doesn't,
yeah.
Because I finished 4th in this region and end up in the state tournament. I finished 1st in this region and not ended up in the state tournament. So. Yeah. Our state championship. So, I mean, I want to be playing good at the end. That's the bottom line.
Well, I'd be curious, we probably asked you this before too, but, with the tournament, and if you lose and you have to win back and you got to go really deep with the pitching staff and stuff like that, how does that, foreseeing that maybe happening, affect your decision-making, I guess, in the preseason and stuff like that, as far as working out pitchers and making sure you have guys that you can trust later on?
I think it's huge. I think that's our staff will be deep. We've got to make sure that we have lots of arms, and at any given time someone could throw. And if someone's pitching JV, they've had the experience to face hitters And so sometimes you rely on that person a little bit more than someone that hasn't been in a game yet or not, that might be maybe a little bit better in your mind. But it definitely takes effect of where we go and how we process our way through the state tournament. But we got to get a lot of guys innings right now in March to get them ready. And then I heard Coach Abbott at Crimson, by the way, stole it from me, that we definitely, and I'm sure all these coaches do it, but we have these arms that need to throw, and they throw in live inter-squad, and it's game situations, and we play it like it's the real deal. It's an inter-squad, and that's not always the best, but it's also you're facing hitters that good hitters. Good hitters that you can get better, and then we can rely on you. I look back at some of the guys that have won state championships for me that threw on those Wednesday inter-squads in our practices, and then they ended up pitching for us in the state championship, and maybe didn't pitch, maybe pitched a little bit here and there, but not a lot, but then came through in the state tournament.
Speaking of Coach Abbott, we pulled up. Now, Lauren, I'm going to ask you to put up Coach Sechrist. This is a Media Day throwback here. We threw one up, Coach Abbott. He hit a dinger. He knew exactly what the pitch was. I don't know how many years ago it was. Do you remember this game-winning hit and what pitch you saw? This is for Dixie State, I think, Coach. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was old Dixie College. That's me, number 17 right there. But I don't. When I read this, it brought me back to my teammate, Chris Leonelli, who had actually quit that morning because he was mad he wasn't playing, and then he came back, which he should have never quit in the first place. Yeah. But he came back and asked Coach if he could play, and Coach let him play. And I actually think he hit a home run in that game, and that kind of brought back that memory of how excited you can tell. I mean, he's hugging everybody. Yeah. I think everybody was so happy that he'd come back, and then he hit a home run later in the game for us. I think he pinch hit or something, but I was just probably glad to contribute something there. So, yeah, that was at Elks Field over there, and if anybody knows, those fences were about 470 to left field, and they were probably about 310, but nobody can really, who knows, because there's a school on top of the field now, so.
Amazing. Anyway, no fact checkers can go back and look at that.
What year was that?
I don't know.
That was 1989 right there.
89? Okay.
Amazing.
Right
Amazing.
That team ended up playing in the World Series. We went to the World Series that year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You guys probably can't tell in the picture, but back in the day, the hats, the first thing you did when you got a hat was you kind of bent it around so it was shaped like that instead of, you guys all have the flat brims now, but that was before you were born. But I know Coach Sechrist remember, that's the first thing you did. You got a hat, you had to bend the heck out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I used to, when flat bill, everybody wanted to wear that, I'd get mad at my kids and tell them they got to curve their bill.
I still argue with my son about that. Your hat's screwed up. He's like, no, your hat is.
Snow Canyon Warriors, everybody. Always a pleasure to have Coach Sechrist and Snow Canyon here with us on Media Day. You ain't done yet, though, guys. You got to see if you can win this Baby Ruth. We're out of Snickers, so you got to choke down this Baby Ruth. But it's, what's the word? It's apropos because Babe Ruth is a baseball player.
Yeah, so there you go.
Throw a seed in. You're trying to hit that black dot on the floor. Closest to wins the candy bar. And, Coach, if you want to shoot, go for it. We'll see what you got.
You don't have to, but yeah.
I'll try it.
You got to spit it. And it's a pumpkin seed, so it's a little heavier than a sunflower seed, so don't overshoot it. You're going for the black dot. Let's start with Coden here, buddy. What do you got here, pal? See if you can do better than Pimes you did. Ooh, a little deep, little deep.
You went yard.
Braden, you ready? Go for it. Let it bounce. Good shot. Close to the black. Sam? All right. Coach, you just got to hit the mat. Coach goes short.
Short.
Who won? Braden?
Braden on the corner.
All right, Braden, you get the Baby Ruth. I'll hand it to you here. Coach, thanks so much for bringing the guys over. Good luck this season, guys. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with me and Andy's breakdown of
Thompson's going to spit some seeds here in a minute.
Yeah, we will. We'll both do it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Hola, soy Isabela Gómez ayudando a Smokey Bear porque él tiene mucho más que decir que solo...
Solo tú puedes prevenir incendios forestales.
Si estás afuera disfrutando de una barbacoa después de una larga caminata, asegúrate de no tirar tus brasas o cenizas calientes al suelo, porque podría provocar un incendio forestal. toma en serio la prevención de incendios forestales y salvemos el mundo un día a la vez. Juntos con Smokey Bear podemos hacerlo. Ve a smokeybear.com para obtener más información. Keep going.
It's not always necessary to know what lies ahead or around the next turn. The land of curiosity is calling. Rise to it.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Experience active learning and career readiness at Utah Tech University. Formerly Dixie State University, Utah Tech has risen from the desert as one of the fastest growing, most affordable, safest, and rapidly evolving universities in the nation. Our Polytechnic mission creates hands-on learning opportunities for all of our 200+ programs. So join us and experience the difference at Utah Tech University.
Maybe the rush of adrenaline has nothing to do with revolutions per minute, or the weightless gasp as you crest the hill. The land of adrenaline is called. Rise to it.
Welcome back, ESPN 97.7 Region 10 Baseball Media Day. We're through the 4 we're doing today. We're doing the rest on Wednesday live from the ESPN studios, but always great to see these guys in person. Coach, another exciting year of I'm calling you Coach, because I just talked to 4 coaches.
I've coached.
What'd you think, and what's your overall view based on what we heard from those guys?
Well, you know, years ago when we first started doing media day, I would be like, well, let's fill it out, hurry, so that we'll be ready at the end of the thing when it's all filled out and ready to go. I'm talking about the all-region teams.
Yeah.
And then I learned you gotta wait till everybody's had their say, right, before you fill it out, because you just get a vibe from certain guys. Sam Lindsay, obviously, he had the numbers to back it up last year, but Sam Lindsay, the quiet confidence of that young man, you're just like, okay, I don't care what the numbers say, and they're good anyway, but he's going to be on my all-region list.
Well, I was impressed with Sam, his articulateness, as I'm struggling with speaking, ironically. But you know, you brought up, hey, Luke Anderson, those are tough shoes to fill. Yeah. And he didn't blink. He was just like, hey, I'm not going to try to on me. And I thought that was kind of cool from one of the best returning hitters in region this year from Snow Canyon. And Snow Canyon is so good, sometimes you forget. Heck, those guys were in the state championship last year. They were in it, you know, frequently. They've won so many times. And I alluded to it, Andy, but I went through and counted. You know, all the way, and you know this better than anybody. Since 2000, it seems like 80% of the time, it's a region team winning the title, and you know, I don't doubt that's going to happen again this year.
Yeah, you can tinker with the regions, you can tinker with the classifications, but you can almost guarantee 9 times out of 10, there's going to be a team from Southern Utah in the championship game. It just happens every year. We expect it. Are we supposed to apologize because we have nice weather and it doesn't snow here? I'm not going to apologize. Are we supposed to apologize because we have guys like Reed Seacrest and Danny Ibsen who have started traditions and kept those on and made it so that it's expected for you to be good? No, we're not going to apologize for that. And you know, maybe Skyview or Ridgeline or whatever, maybe they're mad about that, but it's the way it is. And I love baseball in Southern Utah.
We've got the defending champs in our region down here. That's Crimson Cliffs. Had a couple seniors graduate, but a huge bunch of their, Bo Sampson's back. He won the state championship for the Mound, and a bunch of offensive production too, AG.
Yeah, that team, how do you not pick them to be up at the top? In fact, we only have 4 ballots in so far. 2 of them have Crimson winning the region, 2 of them have Crimson finishing second. So I think unofficially we can go, well, Crimson's a team to beat.
Yeah.
Although it's hard to look past Dixie, the defending champs, right? In region.
Yeah, just 11-1. I think Dixie went in region last year.
Phenomenal.
Nearly unscathed. They lost 1 game at home to Snow Canyon, and then you've got Snow Canyon, who I think for the last couple years, arguably, with Lyon and Luke Anderson and a couple of the others from the year before, Mason Strong, just collegiate D1 level athletes, may have had the most talent over the last couple years. It's just a stacked region. And then you got Pineview, who we spent a lot of the time with Pineview talking about last year's leadership and the unique characters and personalities on that team.
They went 19-6 last year.
They were awesome too.
Yeah.
So, and luckily for them, Nash is back. Yeah. And Andrew Shakespeare, he hit over 400 for him last year. Right. And I like Coach McClellan's approach, like, hey, this, we may have lost a lot of senior leadership, those grit guys, but the residue of that team is with the program. I mean, we're going to be a lot the same way this season.
Yeah, lost Barney on the mound, Iverson, great catcher for them, the Roundy and Becker twins. So Pineview, I think, maybe has the most to fill in from last year. But they also have a lot of talent back, and I think the Pineview Panthers are going to be good. And that doesn't leave out, I mean, we got like Desert Hills is going to be a fantastic team again as well. We never know about Cedar. Cedar they get snow too, so they don't get to maybe get out early and kind of get a feel for how good they are, and never count out the H-Town Tigers too.
That's right, absolutely. In fact, we'll hear from the H-Town Tigers on Wednesday on ESPN 97.7 during my show from 4 to 6. We'll also have Coach Cave and Desert Hills on, as well as Coach Brad Larson and the Cedar Reds, who were supposed to be here today, but he said, hey man, I'm so sorry, but we're finally today able to get on our diamond for the first time. We've got to do it. We'll call in. And so we'll get the rest of the 3 teams on ESPN 97.7 on Wednesday. Final thoughts, AG, before we sign off?
I am so excited. I don't know if people know this about me. Baseball was my first true love. I was never a great baseball player, but I followed baseball. I used to sneak. I had a little red transistor radio. It was about maybe the size of 2 decks of cards. And I used to sneak it in bed with me, and my parents would say, go to bed! But I'd sneak in there. I was down in Texas, and I would sneak that transistor radio in, and I'd put it next to my head really low and listen to the Houston Astros games. I love baseball. Baseball's in my blood. Baseball is perfect for Southern Utah. Southern Utah is perfect for baseball. And I can't wait for the season to start. And it does, Thursday, right?
Yeah, that's right. And a couple teams might play even earlier than that. I think Desert Hills and Hurricane.
They got some Wednesday or Tuesday?
Yeah, I'll need to look. But yeah, cannot wait. We'll have all the games for you right here on ESPN 97.7. AG will have the calls. I'll be on the calls. Rustin Burnside, Carrick Segmiller as well. Thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate Bucks Ace Hardware as well as Ideal Home and Paint, the Matt Hickman team at Academy Mortgage for helping us bring you another Region 10 Media Day. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you on the Diamond.